So with the depersonalization realization clients that I've worked with over the last 7 years, a lot of them burned through multiple therapists, psychiatrists, social workers, different licensed mental professionals, and weren't able to get the help that they need. But I definitely would not say that that means that, therapy in general is bad. To respond to your comment, I would say therapy is wonderful, generally speaking. I think that if everybody could get some therapy, the world would be a much better place. And I love therapists. I've had dozens and dozens of therapists over the years come to work with me who are dealing with their own, depersonalization, realization, panic attacks, anxiety, a lot of times due to something called compassion fatigue, which is whenever you don't properly self-regulate and you're around people that are suffering all day, it can create something called secondary trauma. But anyway, I love therapists. I absolutely love working with them. I think they're wonderful people. But just because somebody is a wonderful person and generally speaking can provide a lot of help doesn't mean that they're equipped for something like depersonalization realization. DPDR require a very, very specific recovery path. And just to explain this, they're there due to trauma, which, hold on a second, you hear trauma, you think an event, right? But that's a 20th century understanding of trauma. You may think of trauma as like going off to war, losing a loved one, natural disaster, things like that. But a 21st century understanding of trauma would say that trauma is actually a state of overwhelming stress in the body and nervous system. And there's a lot more people that enter this state than you would imagine. And once your body goes into a trauma response, it's also called the freeze response. It's also called the immobilization response. It's also called feigned death. It's really a mammalian defense mechanism. Your brain thinks that you might get eaten by a lion, and so it's trying to dissociate you, which comes from a Latin root word that means to sever or separate, by making you feel detached from your body, making you feel detached from the material world. So to heal DPDR is to heal trauma, and to heal trauma is to have a body-focused approach. We need to do things that communicate safety to the body. And unfortunately, there's a huge gap in knowledge within licensed mental professionals related to how to heal trauma using the body. And that's why a lot of people, unfortunately, don't get help. Doesn't mean you shouldn't see a therapist, though.